From the land down under, with the rock at its centre, comes the little Aussie Watchman.
In Australia, we lack politicians who have the gumption and the spirit to call out spiritual truth. Oh, to have a politician like Judge Moore, who fights with the sword of the Spirit against the enemies of his nation. Oh, how I wish for an Australian politician who has no hesitation in pointing out the way to the Father. I have attached a recent acceptance speech where he won the right to fight for the American Senate in the state of Alabama. His speech is a powerful word in season that is not afraid to acknowledge the presence of God in the affairs of men. Listen and pray for Australian politicians that can fight with such eternal focus as this man.
There's one you don't see up here. Let me just tell you, he's done more for my campaign than anybody. And that's Almighty God. Amen. I want everybody to understand that when I talk about God in this campaign, I've never prayed to win this campaign. I've only prayed that God's will be done. Because I think you can sometimes win on your own, and it's not a good thing. And sometimes you can lose, and it's the best thing. But the best thing we can do is put it in the hands of the Almighty. And as Saran was saying, there's nothing too great for God. For one day every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain or hill shall be made low. And the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. For the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. The voice said, cry, and he said, what shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all the goodness thereof is the flower of the field. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, because the Spirit of the Lord bloweth upon it. Surely the people is grass. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, but the word of our God shall stand forever. You know, we're put here on earth for a short time. And for that short time, our duty is to serve Almighty God and to acknowledge Him in all things. I believe we can make America great, but we must make America good, and you cannot make America good without acknowledging the sovereign source of that goodness, the sovereign source of our law, liberty, and government, which is Almighty God. We have become a nation that has distanced ourselves from the very foundation. Washington said that of all the dispositions and habits which lead to political prosperity, religion and morality are indispensable supports. We've got to recognize that we've been separated by something that separation of church and state doesn't stand for. It doesn't separate us from God. Nothing can separate us from God. We are one nation under God, and we can become one nation unified. There's so much division in our society. Protest, demonstrations, mobs, racial strife. But we're all created in the image of God. I recall what Harry Truman said in his inaugural address. The American people stand firm in the faith which has inspired this nation from the beginning. We believe that all people are created in the image of God, and from that faith we will not be moved. We've been moved, but we can move back. God can still bring us back. Thank you. May God bless you.